It was three companies, ours and the two big guys. SpaceX was selected, and then NASA provided another opportunity, and it was us against Blue Origin. Again, we weren't selected. You get to the end of that project, about 5 years, and losing that when you put all of your eggs in that basket was devastating for the whole team. You know it can happen, but you can't plan on the feeling that you get when it happens.
Success isn't just about what you achieve. It's about living a life that reflects your values and priorities. Welcome to Engineer Your Success, the podcast that helps you lead with intention and live fulfilled.
Welcome to the Engineer Your Success podcast. My name is Dr. James Bryant, your host for the show and your guide for winning at work and at home. Today, meet Andy Crocker, a 30-year aerospace executive who has led teams against industry titans like SpaceX and Blue Origin for NASA's missions. After decades of high-stakes projects and a recent career reset, Andy discovered 5 unconditional values that transform how technical professionals approach both ambitious goals and meaningful relationships. His new book, The Unconditionals, offers a framework for winning at work while staying grounded in what matters most at home. Today, Andy shares how engineers harness love, gratitude, integrity, accountability, and endeavor to build careers that don't sacrifice personal fulfillment. Andy, welcome to the show.
Thanks, James. Great to be here. Honored to be on the show.
Tell us about leading a team competing against Elon Musk's SpaceX and Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin for NASA's human landing system.
Sure. It was a fantastic project. For myself, an aerospace engineer, I've been in the business for 30 years, and that kind of project is one of those holy grail projects. It's something that you hope to work on in your career, and we were lucky enough to do that. I was really the impetus at our company for going after it. NASA provided the opportunity, and we didn't have any experience in it, but neither did anybody else. It had been 50 plus years since anybody had been to the moon with people. So we threw our hat in the ring, got an early contract with about a dozen others. Our team did a nice job of developing design and a plan, and we got to the point where it was our team and SpaceX and Blue Origin. It feels like you're competing against the two wealthiest people on the planet. The experience was fantastic. The team we put together was so passionate and smart and collaborative, and that really made it such an amazing experience. Unfortunately, we weren't selected. We had 2 opportunities. The first time it was 3 companies, ours and the 2 big guys. SpaceX was selected, and then NASA provided another opportunity, and it was us against Blue Origin. Again, we weren't selected. You get to the end of that project, about 5 years, and losing that when you put all of your eggs in that basket was devastating for the whole team. You know it can happen, but you can't plan on the feeling that you get when it happens. You have to step back and recalibrate, in a sense, recalibrate your career.
When you are facing that kind of loss and you're doing recalibration, what were some of the things that you began to do to help you plot a path forward?
Yeah. Obviously, the first thing as a leader is to help out the team, because it's not just me who has to go find another project to work on, but we had 300 plus people working on the project just at our company and all the companies working with us across the globe, literally. So number one as a leader is to be transparent. Let the team know this is what's going on. And leading up to that, there's a ton of conversation about this is what could happen. We win, we grow. We lose, we go in the other direction. And everybody has to scramble. But we as a leadership team and myself personally really committed to be transparent and really tell everybody every opportunity we could, here's what could happen. And then when it did, now here's what we're going to do about it. And really worked hard to find people new jobs within the company and other companies and elsewhere. So that was number one. And as a leader, I think you have to do that when you're in such a big inflection point that's coming. You've got a plan, and you've got to let your team know this is what could happen. You as a person, for your family, for your career, you need to set up various opportunities for yourself in any case. And then you help people work through that. And then you're able to step back and say, okay, now what about me as a leader and as a person? For me, I jumped to another project, great team. But I then started thinking about not just what am I going to do next in my career, but what is really my purpose as a person? I had invested so much mental energy and physical and emotional energy into this, what I thought was my purpose. And when that disappeared, I had to step back and say, is that really my purpose? Was it, and is it my purpose? And now in retrospect, I realized right about that time, I started writing this book, The Unconditionals, and I realized that I was unconscious of it, but becoming more aware that no, that's not my purpose, and I have a different purpose.
Leadership comes with high expectations, too many responsibilities, too little time, and the constant pressure to keep up. If you're feeling stretched thin, you're not alone. At Engineer Your Success, we help leaders take back control so that they can lead with confidence, delegate effectively, and stop running on empty. You don't have to choose between success and sanity. Let's build a leadership plan that works for you. Visit engineeryoursuccessnow.com today, because thriving isn't just for others, it's for you. So the whole experience of working on the project, losing the project, made you begin to question your purpose, or at least to start to investigate, is this my purpose? You mentioned when you started writing the book, was there any incident or something in particular that led you to want to write the book?
Yes, I had always wanted to write down, either informally or formally, what I think is important for my kids. Kind of, here's how to go live a good life for my kids. And I never knew what that was going to look like. When my first child was born, I jotted some things down and tried to do that, but it lasted about 6 months. And then every so often I'd say, oh, that's a great quote, or that's a great thing, and I'll throw it in the basket of things I might want to say someday. But I finally, when my son came home from his first day of school and said, I'm a senior in high school, it hit me. And I said, I got to start writing this stuff down for sure, for real this time. And so I did. And I got into it, and I really enjoyed the process. This was about 4 months after losing the Human Landing System project.
Okay.
I didn't know it at the time, and it really took, honestly, a year or more for me to realize that those two events coalesced and reinforced each other to lead to writing this book. But I didn't have any idea what the book would be. I had in mind to write things down for the kids, and I got about 3 months into it. It was around Christmas that first year, and realized this is more than just a little booklet for the kids. This is going to be a book, and it's going to be about values. And soon I realized, hey, this is something that other people might enjoy and get something out of. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it into a book that I'll publish, still not really knowing what it would be. And then only late in the process did I understand what it really would turn out to be, which is the unconditionals. And that meaning of unconditional didn't really pop out to me and allow me to capture that in the book until very late in the process.
Okay, so what are the unconditionals?
So for me, unconditional means we think, speak, and act based on who we are and what our core values are, what the values are personally for us, and in alignment with those values, no matter what's going on. So no matter the circumstance, no matter who it is, no matter how that person is reacting to you or is treating you, no matter what the outcome is of whatever action you take, we try to live according to those values. So unconditional is independent of anything, no matter what the condition is. For me, the values that I captured and wanted to give to my kids, number one, love. I think that's foundational. And I do think it applies in every situation, including the workplace and as a leader. Number two, gratitude. Number three, integrity. Number four, accountability. And number five, endeavor.
Can you get a kind of a brief 1 or 2 sentences of the importance of each or the definition of each from your perspective? Everyone expects you to have all the answers, but who's asking you how you're doing? Who's helping you think through your challenges? Engineer Your Success Insiders is my private podcast designed specifically for you. It's like having a coach in your corner focused on helping you win at work and at home. One story, one insight, one action that you can take, all wrapped up into real coaching insights that you can use. Join at engineeryoursuccessnow.com/insiders.
Sure. And I'll try to frame them specifically for leaders because I know that's what you're really focused on and trying to help people understand how to be better leaders using their values. So love, again, is the foundation of it all. And for me, I broke that down into respect, kindness, and compassion. And so that means no matter who someone is, no matter where they're coming from, what they believe, we give them respect, kindness, and compassion. And if they're on our team, if we're a leader, those three things, respect, kindness, and compassion, are fundamental to giving our teammates, the employees, our coworkers, a sense of acceptance, which is critical, and then a feeling of value. They're valued in what they bring, no matter who they are, they're valued. And that opens them up, gives them freedom to have trust in you as a person, trust in each other, trust in themselves. And then that creates collaboration, innovation. Obviously, it helps retention. Gratitude is unconditional gratitude. Let's be specific, is accepting what we have, not trying to change what we have because we want more. It may be okay to want more, but number one, you take what you have and you accept it. And this is what we have, and we're going to do the best with what we have. So not worrying about what we don't have, not fretting over losses or worrying about comparing ourselves to others, but appreciating this is what we have today. It may even be, as far as a team goes, hey, the people showed up today. Everybody on the team showed up today. Let's go from there. So gratitude. Integrity is a sense of wholeness. It is, I am consistent in my thoughts, words, and actions in how I interact with people. I'm authentic. My private self is consistent with my public self. I'm honest. I'm fair. I'm loyal. That creates a wholeness of person in a leader that people look at and say, I know who that is. I can trust in that person. I know that person is going to do his or her best to make decisions that are good for us as a team and will share with me, because he or she is transparent and authentic, share with me when issues come up. Accountability is all about owning it. It's all about owning your job, your duty, your commitment. So if you commit to do something, you own it, and that is independent of what the outcome is. You accept the outcome, good or bad. And if you're a leader, you own whatever it is that your team is responsible for. And if it goes well, you share the credit across the team appropriately. If it goes poorly, the blame is on you as a leader. You own that. It's owning it. And then the last one, endeavor. There are a lot of aspects to that, but it starts with purpose. And then there are a number of aspects I spell out in the book. But really the critical outcome of endeavor is growth. And I think endeavor is really the action that we bring to the world, to our workplace, to leadership. It is acting in the world. And what we want to achieve out of that is growth. And it's growth that is consistent with our values and consistent with who we're trying to be.
Thank you for sharing that. I definitely connect with the concept of, hey, we're going to own the outcome. We're going to own what we did. If it was great, you want to praise the team, to be able to celebrate that with the team. If it doesn't work out, then yes, I am accountable for that outcome. However, there is a piece of accountability where you are holding your team accountable for what they were supposed to do. If something isn't working right and it's failing, yes, publicly, I take the blame. It's on me. It is also on me to work with my team to help equip them so that we don't make that same mistake in the future.
Yeah, that is a great point. And I do talk in the book in each chapter about, as a leader, we model these values and we try to teach to our teammates these values. And for accountability, what you said is dead on. We help our teammates become more accountable by giving them opportunities to own something. I'm going to give you this responsibility. And once they show they can handle the responsibility, you actually give them accountability and say, you now own this. With responsibility, you don't own it. It still belongs to the owner. But if I give you accountability, now you own it and you own the outcome. And so you're teaching them, hey, this is what it means to own it. But if you're the leader, you still own the failure. If they fail, even though you've given them accountability, you still got to go to the management and say, hey, I'm the leader. I made the mistake. But you work with your employees to say, this is what it means to own it, to face the outcome, whatever it is, and then recover from it. And that's, of course, where it ties into endeavor, which is you persevere. You learn how to persevere and then learn how to grow from that.
What was the most challenging thing about writing the book for you?
There were a couple of different phases that were challenging. One is to get it down to five values. I really, the first time I got it all down, it was going to be way, way longer. And it's already plenty long, too long for some, I'm sure. But getting it down to five and then choosing those five, really, what is the essence of each of those five? You can probably tell if you look at the book, Endeavor's got a ton of stuff in it. And you and I talked before, each one of these has got so much in it, right? They're so complex and they're so dense. But trying to get to the essence of each one was really tough because I didn't want to leave anything out. Probably at the end, the toughest thing was, how do I really define each one on its own? So many people talk about accountability and it bleeds over into integrity. And there absolutely overlap all the time. And then so many people talk about accountability and it bleeds over into endeavor because there's purpose and perseverance and growth in it. So that's just natural. They all have to work together. They have to work in harmony and they build on each other. But you do your best. You get it down on paper. You give it out to the world. But I think the point really is to say we need to have a set of values for ourselves. And then we try to live according to those values unconditionally, which means just based on who you are. And the nice thing is there's a freedom in that because you can let go of trying to figure out what the situation requires and just say, hey, this is who I am. Therefore, this is how I behave. And the situation will work itself out. It may not work out well for me today, but at least I'm staying aligned with my values and unconditionally acting according to who I think I am.
As you've been writing this book and reshaping the concept, initially, the impetus for that was to leave a message for your kids. So what do your kids think about the book?
They have been nice about it. So first of all, I did have to twist their arms a little bit to read it. It's a dense book and it's not a children's book. My kids are 15 and 19, one in college, and the one in college doesn't particularly care to read. So, that's a push. But no, they've been very appreciative. I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that these values, they mean something to me, clearly. I wrote them down. They mean something to me. So that has come across, thankfully, in our bringing the kids up, raising the kids. They understand when they read these values, oh, yeah, these make sense based on what mom and dad have done with us over time.
Yeah.
They're appreciative. I think certainly they, at a kid's level, at a 15-year-old and 19-year-old brain level, they appreciate the effort and the fact that the book came out and seeing it on Amazon and all those things that seem amazing to kids before they learn how to do it on their own. So it's been good. It's really been a great opportunity to talk around the dinner table and just have some conversations that I had hoped we would have. I hope we'll have a lot more when they get to be a little older.
That's great. I think you've set the stage for having those conversations. And I love the ideal of capturing all of that information to be able to pass down that wisdom to them, the wisdom that you've been living. You and your wife have been living this, because if you haven't been living it, I think their reaction to the book will be a lot different versus when you have been living it.
Yeah. Now the risk is they can hold me to it. If they see me acting out of alignment with these things that I say are my values, they can hold it over my head, but that's okay. I need accountability just like anybody.
What actions can someone take today to help them move further along living out these unconditionals?
Great question. Number one, decide on your values. Establish what your values are. And the best thing would be to write them down, right? So you're accountable at least to yourself. Tell them to your team, tell them to other people, and they can hold you accountable. But understand what your values are, number one. And then if you're starting from a place of maybe not living in alignment with your values, or there's one or two of your values are ones that you're struggling with, pick a part of that. It's going to be difficult for you to just snap your fingers and say, I'm unconditionally gratified. I have unconditional gratitude, or I have unconditional endeavor. So take a part of that. Hey, I want to work on my attitude. I think my attitude can hinder my ability to demonstrate endeavor. So I'm going to pick that one thing and I'm going to take steps to try to improve my attitude today, tomorrow, the next day, until you get to the point where you identify with that activity or that essence. That is, I identify myself as someone who has an optimistic, positive attitude at work as a leader. And so that when I get into a situation where I have to demonstrate that, and it may be hard, I have gotten to the point where I am now identifying myself as a person who has a positive attitude. And I can get past that looking around to see how should I react? What should my attitude be based on the situation? No, I've identified myself as someone who has a positive attitude. And so I'm going to bring that because that's who I am.
Yeah.
Simple answer, start with one thing, one aspect of something that you want to work on, and make that part of your identity, and then go to the next thing, and then go to the next thing.
What's the best way for listeners to connect with you, learn a little bit more about what you're doing, or even purchase your book?
Great. Yes. AndyCrockerBooks.com. That's the simple way. You can go learn more about the book, learn a little bit more about me, and then you can purchase the book from there, give you a link to go purchase it. So go to AndyCrockerBooks.com. And if you want, connect with me there. You can also find me on LinkedIn and other platforms at Andy Crocker, or on Facebook or Instagram at Andy Crocker Books.
Okay. All right. So we'll make sure that we include links to all of that in the show notes. One question that comes to mind for me now, Andy, is what's the next thing that you are endeavoring to do? What's next for you?
So you and I talked earlier, and I've had great advice from folks like you, from other podcasters and other people about possible avenues. I really want to move forward, and I've decided I'm going to move forward with streamlining the book for a couple of specific audiences. One is for parents, one is for leaders. I'm also thinking of doing one for graduates, and I'll probably try to do one that's tailored for teens, or I'll say school age kids. I know that one's going to be challenging because it really needs to speak to them in a way that they can understand. That'll take a little more work maybe than my natural writing style.
Okay.
But I want to tailor it because I think the book as it is, it says what I wanted to say and I'm really happy with it, but it's also a little daunting and a little more dense than I think some readers want. And so hopefully these audiences with a more streamlined version that's really tailors the message to them will be able to get more out of it and still grasp the values and the unconditionals.
I think that is great. And I have this vision of like even an unconditionals card deck where folks are going through looking at these values and being able to have table conversations or group conversations about those values and how you live that out.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe workbooks and things like that. And then I think you and I talked about speaking in schools and definitely just speaking in general to audiences about the unconditionals and how they apply in different situations, whether it's family life, work life, as a leader, whatever. I definitely look forward to speaking and maybe growing that as a possible career or at least a side hustle.
Okay. Before we close, I like to give all the guests the opportunity to put me on the hot seat and to ask me one question.
Sure. What do you feel like are your core values, the things you really try to stay aligned with as you serve your clients and go your life?
Great question. The first one that comes to mind is curiosity. And
I love that one. Yeah.
Curiosity attached to that is the absence of judgment. To be curious about what my clients are through, to be curious about the situation that they're in without bringing the judgment of, oh, that was a stupid decision or why did you do that? Sometimes because that's how we're thinking. So that's like one for me.
Great.
I think number two is being present, to bring my full attention mentally, spiritually, physically here in this moment, to not think about the next question or the next thing, but to be fully present in that moment, because I believe that when you're present, you have the ability to connect. When you're not present, you're disconnected.
Yeah. Love that.
I would say another value would be is meeting people where they are and not trying to make them into something that they're not. Like meeting people where they are, accepting them for who they are, and allowing them to grow and continue to evolve.
Awesome. Those are good ones.
Those are three that kind of come to mind.
Yeah, I love those. Yeah, curiosity is one that I always think about, and it was close to making the book, and it's in the back of my mind for another book someday. But yeah, I love all three of those. Those are great.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Andy. It's been a blast. I really appreciate you taking time as a rocket scientist, aerospace engineer, an author, an awesome dad, and just an awesome person for joining us on the Engineer Your Success podcast. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you, James. I really appreciate learning from you, talking to you. Thank you.
I'm going to end this podcast episode like I end every podcast episode, and that's this. Many people know what to do. Fewer people know how to do it. And there's a select group of people that follow through, do it, and are living the life of their dreams. Andy, I want to thank you for being part of Select Few and sharing your unconditionals with us.
Thank you.